Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and I'm going to show you how you can change your life in 2 minutes or less. Absolutely strange sounding, but absolutely true. First, I'm going to give you a little background as to why I'm recommending this, because I find for myself and many other people that when we're told just do this, it's not easy for us to just blindly accept it. When we're more likely to do it is when we understand why. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to give you the background, and then we'll shoot right into this amazing self-help exercise that you can do. Besides the big story of being able to change your life, some smaller but very big pieces underneath that umbrella are that with this exercise, you are going to be able to shift chronic stress patterns. Stress is known as the biggest killer of people, the biggest contributor to chronic diseases, the biggest interferer with our life and happiness and relationships and the things we want to do. So we all know we need to shift our stress patterns, but we don't really know how. Okay, so it will help you to do that. It will also help you to access your prefrontal cortex, which is the place where we are not able to access when we're stressed, where the creative solutions are, and also the intuition. If you're a person who's trying to develop your intuition and you can't tell the difference between your fear and your intuition, or the different voices in your head saying different things and trying to really tune into divine guidance, this is also going to help you with that. This will help you to stop sabotaging yourself. If you are a person at varying levels of trying to improve your life and you wonder why you keep doing these things that bring in unnecessary drama, this is going to help you with that as well. This will help you to create deeper relationships. When we are triggered, we are not in our highest expression and we don't put our best foot forth to the people that we love or other people. So this is actually going to help you to have deeper relationships with people, because you're going to be able to step out of the not you and really engage from the perspective of your true self. This is also going to help you to step into your general highest expression, and it's going to lay the foundation for vibrant wellness and health, which I will explain why. If you are someone who is into astrology, I'm known to many people as an astrologer, then this actually can help you to better deal with more easily and more functionally stressful astrological transits, or just any other stresses that come to you in your life, okay? So, some of these, I just named a few of the positive effects of this, but the implications are far-reaching, and we're not going to be able to cover all the positive effects here, but just know that there are many, many, many more, and you can research this. I'll give you information on how to do that. Okay, so many of you know me as an astrologer, and I have been an astrologer for a very long time. What you might not also know is that I was a nationally board certified massage therapist, and so I have a massive experience and education in the physical body and the body systems, so if you notice that I weave in, emotional, mental, spiritual, and physical healing tips into my astrology work, this is part of the background of the source of that information, and this is the connection here with how I came to find the information that I'm going to share with you. Okay, so I came to know the work of fellow body worker Stanley Rosenberg. Okay, Stanley Rosenberg is an amazing man. He is still practicing, he's still teaching. You can look him up, and I do recommend that you do that. I'll give you some more information on that later. He was a body worker and then came into contact with Dr. Stephen Porges, who is the person who introduced to us the Polyvagal Theory. Now, the Polyvagal Theory was introduced to the public in 1994, and still to this date, many of the current neuroscience, social neuroscience community members are not on board with this. Many possibly suggest because of the ramifications it will have on the healthcare industry, the pharmaceuticals, etc. You can, tune into that if you want to. I'm staying in the positive here and just letting you know that even though it's not accepted by some mainstream social neuroscience doctors in the community, there have been at least 10,000 peer-reviewed articles that cite this polyvagal theory. That is the source through which I'm giving you this information. Okay, so Stanley Rosenberg came together with Dr. Porges, and he told him about the polyvagal theory, which is, just in a nutshell, it was believed that, and believed still by many, that our autonomic nervous system, our automatic response to things, the things that rule the organs and the things that go on without our conscious need to make them, be going. That there were two states, the stress state, which is also known as the fight or flight, and the relaxation state, which is also known as the rest and digest and breed and feed branch of the nervous system. But Dr. Porges suggests that the complex of this autonomic nervous system is that it's a complex, and it's way more complex than these two branches. Also involved in this theory is the vagus nerve. Okay, so the vagus nerve is the magical place in our bodies where our psychology meets our physiology. Okay, those are my words. That's how I'm explaining it. I've never seen that anywhere, but that's basically what it is. So, when we know that our emotions affect our health, when we know our emotions affect the functioning of our digestion, our organs, and all of these other even physical, structural alignments, it's in the complex of the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is more complicated than we're going to get into here, okay, because there is a lot to talk about. But for our purposes here, it's important to note that the vagus nerve connects with 5 cranial nerves. And these 5 cranial well, it connects to more than that, but these 5 cranial nerves in particular are critical for accessing all of the things that I listed before, and they play into the structural alignment of our spine and our muscles, and which again, there's way more to it than I can explain in this particular offering. But just understand that this cranial nerve connection, when the cranial nerves are under duress, they have pressure on them because of misalignment, and the misalignment comes from various things, then we can't properly digest. We can't properly have our body parts functioning. We can't properly stay in the relaxation mode because we're going into these various other states of being that are not helpful to our health and our wellness and our accessing higher solutions and our being in our higher selves and all of this. So by taking pressure off of these cranial nerves and allowing them to properly innervate and do their work, we can achieve all of these other results, okay? So now I'm going to give you the exercise, okay? And I'm also going to refer you out to find Stanley Rosenberg. You can search for Dr. Porges, P-O-R-G-E-S, Polyvagal Theory. You can study about that. You can get Stanley Rosenberg's book, Healing the Vagus Nerve, and he actually talks about the relationship between the vagus nerve and helping people with autism because of the connection with our social interactions. I'm personally adding in empaths, people who hear things loudly and who experience things more intensely. I'm going to suggest, which again, I've never seen this anywhere, but that there is a relationship here between the cranial nerves. These cranial nerves do innervate the ears. So there is a relationship there in my mind. So that kind of intensity when you go out and everything's loud and everything's weird has to do with these cranial nerves being under duress. Okay, but he does talk about depression, anxiety, and just general, all these different implications in his book calling Healing the Vagus Nerve. Okay, so you can find Stanley Rosenberg's book, you can look up stuff about him online, and you can go in deeper into his work. And I do suggest reading the book cover to cover as I have, because it's actually, this whole thing, all of this can be life-changing. Okay, so the simple exercise to help get the pressure off of these cranial nerves, to help them do their job, and to help you get into this state of relaxation is this. Super simple. Clasp your fingers, put them behind your head. You can just kind of see where they are here. You feel like your thumbs kind of near the occiput or like the base of your skull, and your hands are clasped there. Now you keep your face forward, but you look to the right, okay? Now I found from, now before I move on here, just a little disclaimer. If you have something wrong with your physical body where doing this position is painful to you, don't do it. You know, consult your practitioner, see if you can get help with this just to make sure. Most of us don't have that problem. I thought because I have a hiatal hernia that staying in this position, which can sometimes bother me, would be a problem. But actually, he's saying that there's a relationship between hiatal hernias and these issues with the vagus nerve, which go into the cranial nerve. So that's kind of how I came to find out this, is searching for understanding this whole complex better. So you've got your hands here. You're looking forward. You're looking hard to the right first. Okay. Now I found that the harder you look, you don't want to hurt yourself or strain your eyes. But I found that I get the response faster and more deeply when I'm looking, like if you're just kind of casually looking a little bit that way, it doesn't seem to be as powerful as it when you really look to the right. Now, I'm not going to do the whole 2-minute exercise here because it'll be boring for you to watch me just standing here. But I can tell you that you're basically looking here and you're breathing deeply. You'll sometimes feel the tension back here just starting to shift, which is allowing your C1 and C2, your atlas and axis, to return to their alignment, to adjust the stress of the muscles here. And so you're looking to the right and you're looking for some kind of response. Okay, so he says you can yawn. You'll notice like a little bit of a deeper breath, like a sigh, or just some kind of other shift. And it might take you longer sometimes than others. I'm doing this so frequently now that it tends to happen pretty fast for me. But just kind of work with it, to see your own flow. Then you keep your face forward. Now you're going to be tempted to turn your face to the side when you're looking, but that's not the way it works. Okay, so you keep your face forward and then you look to the left and you breathe deeply. For me, it will often trigger a yawn response, which I'm not going to make you watch me yawning, but that's how I know that it's working. And so you can do this, and I suggest you do this, and he suggests you do this when you first wake up. Your neck alignment gets all whacked out when you sleep, even if you've had an adjustment or done, your stretching or whatever before bed. Just the way that your head is, this often gets whacked out in the night. Okay, so you can do it right when you wake up, and it can set your day in motion in a more positive way. You can do it at night before you go to bed to help you sleep better, to help you relax and get into that sleep state. And the way that I do it and the way I'll suggest to you to do it is to do it anytime anything throws you off. Now, depending on the state of your life or the variables you have in your life, you might find you're doing this like 500 times a day. I'm just kidding, that's an exaggeration, but you might notice that you're having to do it quite regularly, because once the stress occurs, like I was saying, it's kind of like a chicken and an egg thing. You have more stress because this is thrown off, but you also get it thrown off because of the stress, because of the relationship between the emotions and the body, the structure of the body. So as I was telling you before, the vagus nerve is that magical section of our being where our psychology meets our physiology. And so, this plays back and forth, okay? So your mom calls you, she annoys you, you have a stressful moment at work, you can go in the bathroom or go to your desk and do this and get back on track, and you will notice a difference. You have a kid that's having a temper tantrum, teach the kid to do it. You are getting into an argument with your significant other because they triggered you and now you're mad. You can have an arrangement with your partner that I'm going to do my exercises and get my center back, and then we can engage so that you don't create ancillary problems in your relationship, which can help you to have deeper relationships and deeper intimacy. Now, from the perspective of social engagement, there's way more than I can go into here. But if you're a person who's an introvert or an empath or a sensitive, a super sensitive, or a person with autism, or a person who is a caretaker for someone with autism, Stanley Rosenberg has helped all of these people, sensitive people, people on the autism spectrum, because there's a relationship between the cranial nerves and the hearing, which means that people who have these afflicted can't hear right, which means they can't interact with other people and they can't learn to speak as well. And so he's been able to actually improve the experience for all of these people by doing this work. And these are self-help exercises. So that's actually what he talks about in his book. I don't make any money from is you buying his book. Okay, I'm referring you to that because that's the body of work that this came to me, and I'm so grateful, and I want you to go deeper and understand his work better. So you can do that. Now, if you want more tips on how to make your life easier and more fulfilling, how to manage and direct stress, how to live in your highest expression, that is something that I do as my work. And you can go, first of all, to the notes below this video to see all of the links to many free things that I do. And also you can go to my exclusive content portal where at AnnieBAstrology.com. So Annie, the letter B, astrology.com. And that's where you can access my exclusive content portal. And I'm going to be putting more information on how you can improve your life with tips like this, the places where our physiology and our psychology meet, and simple things that you can do to improve your life and to live in your highest expression. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this is helpful to you. I hope you look deeper into this work, and remember to do your exercises every time you get stressed to regain your center. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.